Hi there and welcome to another video. I would have started this video a little bit earlier, but I had to have a shower and wash my hair, and it just takes so long these days. So I apologise for that. these new challenges I have. So this video is going to be about walking. Now, you can read this as an HSCT video or a general MS video and looking at my walking as far as someone with PPMS. I have an EDSS score, so my disability score is before I left to get the HSCT treatment. It was diagnosed I suppose self-diagnosed with neurologist diagnosed at about a 3.5. I went out for my HSCT treatment, and the neurologist there said I was EDSS 4. So 3.54. So what I've done is recorded myself walking, or I got one of my 8-year-old twins to record me walking. It's got a weird thing, just me going for a little walk in the evening with one of my boys following me, recording me walking. So people must have been watching that thinking, that's really weird. Why is there a small boy following a grown man and recording him walking? But what I wanted to do is just see what for my own personal interest, I wanted to see what my walking was like. But I also wanted to get a record of my walking that I could compare possibly in 6 months' time or a year's time, and see whether my walking improves or gets worse. I have PPMS, so I've got primary progressive multiple sclerosis. If HSCT doesn't work, it'll be interesting to see a development of my lack of walking ability and record that, as sad as that might be for me. On the flip side, if HSCT has worked, it'll be interesting to see if my walking gets any better. So this is a record of my walking. It's not very interesting. It's 3 little sections of me doing just a little walk down the road. What's interesting is me thinking I don't sort of weave around a lot. I think it was one of my best walks that I've done. One of my best walks. Listen to me, it's ridiculous. But I felt it was one of my best walks I've done last week. However, when I say to Finn, my son, I don't, or at the end where I say I don't think I weaved at all. Actually, on looking back at it, I was weaving a little bit. But anyway, this is me with an EDSS score of 3.5 to 4, having a bit of a walk. So is it filming?
Yep.
So when I begin to walk, I'm usually pretty good, but I do get a bit of foot drop on my left foot. So my left foot slaps a bit more than my right. that's about a third of the walk that we're going to do, and then we'll record it again in a little bit, see if my walking as I get a little bit more tired changes at all. Head back now, just to see if my walking's any different. I might get a little bit more weavy. Usually I'm a bit more weavy on the roads. Today I'm feeling pretty good, and as I mentioned earlier, I've got a bit of foot drop on my left foot, so you might see that a little bit. I don't know. I think that's pretty much one of my best days walking. We'll stop that now, and we'll do it at the end again just to see whether I change a little bit at the end. The last leg of my little walk. As I said today, I think I've walked the best I ever have. Well, ever. Best I've walked for the last week, so I'm really happy with that. But a little bit more tired now, so we'll see how it goes. That was pretty good. I think that's actually the best walking I've done. I don't think I really weaved at all today, so that's really encouraging. Thank you very much, Finn, for filming. What a legend. Good little lad. It must have looked a bit weird with a small boy following a grown man videoing him, but you know, thanks matey. That went well, good. So well done for sticking with me if you're still watching, because you've just watched a grown man walk down the road. But I've just watched all those three segments, you know, one after the other, and although my walking is fairly decent, you could notice me get noticeably a bit more weavy uh, and basically a bit more tired towards the end. And that's only really a short walk, a 10-minute walk tops. Now, once a week, I normally would walk my boys to school, and that's about just over 1,000 meters. It's probably a good 10-minute walk, actually. No, it is a 10-minute walk. Now, I think I could still just about do that, but the walk back, I would really, really struggle to do. So I might try that, and then maybe have to stay at school for a cup of tea or something, and before making that return back. I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to try out. But certainly, my walking is weaker than it was before I had HSCT. So this is the key to what I suppose the video is telling you. So I am generally weaker. I'm weaker in body, and that's definitely true. I tried to move the trampoline. We've got quite a big trampoline out the back for the boys, and I tried to move it with my partner yesterday, and I struggled in a way. Normally, I'd just be able to pick it up and throw it about, and it wouldn't be a problem. I definitely am feeling weaker in the body. My muscles can't deal with what they used to be able to deal with. Now, like I've mentioned 100 times, whether that's due to decommissioning, whether it's the fact that I've done nothing for a month, or whether it's down to my central nervous system being affected by the HSCT, I don't know. I have a feeling it's probably a little bit of both. I think that I am weaker due to the fact that I have done nothing, but there's something in me that's telling me that I've just lost a little bit of strength. Now, I know that is a known side effect of HSCT, so I'm not worried at all. Yesterday's walk that you've just seen, I think that my walking is weaker than it was before I had HSCT, and I think that's partly down to HSCT. And so you often hear talk about the HSCT roller coaster, where you get worse before you get better and all this kind of stuff. With me, that it seems to be a very slight dip at the most. The roller coaster for me, I think, will be quite tame, hopefully, and that's possibly, but it's really early days yet. That's possibly because I'm early in my journey. My EDSS score wasn't particularly high, but as you can see, my walking did weave a little bit. I did walk a bit like an old man, and you couldn't really hear it, but when I walk, my left foot slaps quite a bit, due to the foot drop, and that seems to have got worse. So there are elements of my walking that are worse than they were, but generally pretty good. I'm fairly happy. I may do that again if I notice any discernible changes. Hopefully that was useful for someone, or it was just a very boring look at someone walking down the road. There you go. Anyway, as ever, please subscribe to my videos, my MS videos. That will be really, really helpful. And toodle bits.